big news, really big news, extremely big news. I'm excited to announce the official Medical Medium podcast. The first episode is Chemtrails, The Sky is Falling, and it's not for the faint of heart. It's actually really scary at the same time. So, if you're... I'm caught where I almost don't want you to hear the episode, but yet I want you to hear it so you can learn and actually spread the information around, get people to hear the episode so they can learn how to protect themselves. But it's really powerful. It's a free resource, okay? So this Medical Medium podcast on Apple Podcasts, that's where you can go listen to it, is on Apple Podcasts. This official launch of the Medical Medium podcast is a free resource, okay? No infomercials. You're not going to get infomercial to death. Okay, it's not going to be like sales pitch after sales pitch, even though I don't do that anyway. So, sales pitch after sales pitch. It's not going to be any of that. No advertising, no sponsorships. This Medical Medium podcast is the real deal, and so I want you guys to check it out. It's on Apple Podcasts. That's where you can find it. The first episode is Chemtrails. The Sky is Falling, and there's tremendous amounts of detailed information in there that no one's ever heard before. Ever. They haven't heard it anywhere before. It's unique, it's original, just like Medical Medium information has always been. But if you know something about chemtrails, you're going to find out you really didn't know hardly anything at all about it. You're going to learn the truth. But here's the thing. It's not like I'm just giving you regurgitated information of something that's out there already. That's not it. This is an historical moment. I'm releasing information no one has ever seen or heard about chemtrails ever in our history. So I tell you about the story going all the way back, how it works, what's really happening, why our birds are dying in droves and massive flocks, how we're losing all of our bees, how there's a confusion out there to why people think we're losing bees. They think we're just losing them all because of GMO. They think we're losing it all because of other reasons. Actually, we're losing our bees. And I talk about why on this chemtrail episode. You can see the link in the description. So check it out. So you'll see the link in the description. So you know where to listen to this podcast. It's on Apple Podcasts. That's where you can go and get it. If you don't have an Apple device and you got an Android or a different device, just go to the App Store and get the Apple Podcast app. That's all. And it's free. Just get it, get connected to it, and you can hear this. This is where the platform's going to be for this Medical Medium official podcast, uncensored. Medical Medium official podcast, uncensored. Okay, the episodes to follow are going to be pretty mind-blowing, actually mind-blowing, and it's all unique, advanced medical, health, spiritual, emotional information in each podcast. That each episode, that's what it's going to be. So I'll cover a little bit about that too, because Medical Medium information has always been about providing information about pitfalls and about potholes to avoid so you can protect yourself, protect your family, protect your friends. So if you just got on here, the first episode is Chemtrails, The Sky is Falling. Have you listened to it? Have you listened to it yet? And I want to read the comments. I got the monitor with the comments right over here to the right. But yeah, Apple Podcasts is where it's guaranteed to be. Any other platform, it might be uploaded fragmented. You might not have heard the whole episode but don't know it. So keep that in mind if you're used to listening to it on another platform, because it might be worth going to where it's really guaranteed to be at Apple Podcasts. And so I want to talk a little bit about this. If you've heard this episode already, if you heard the episode already, let me know what you think about it. You can ask me any questions about it, the whole bit. Go ahead. It's perfectly fine. And, there's even powerful hidden messages, spiritual messages inside these episodes on top of it, so you can look out for that. Just know that when you listen to this episode, it's packed with details and information. You might have to listen to it twice, or even more than twice, in order to actually glean and gather all that information. There's so much. And love you guys too. Patty says love you, Anthony. Love you too. MM Podcast. have been out there. No, that the MM podcast in the past, that was an old radio show. So that wasn't the MM official medical medium podcast. Big difference. I'm just letting you know this is an entirely different situation. If you're used to my old radio shows, those were censored because pretty much it wasn't my podcast the whole bit. This is the medical medium official podcast. Just tried and true. This is it. And it's exciting. The first episode is Chemtrails, The Sky is Falling. If you're somebody in your, and you like being in the world you're in now, you don't want to know about certain things, I would sit that episode out, because that episode, Chemtrails, is just, it's scary. It's a scary episode. So I'm just giving you kind of the forewarning, a little kind of forewarning there. But if you think you can handle it and handle the truth, or handle the truth, but more than that, the information at its entirety there, then if you feel like you can handle such a shocker, then you go to Apple Podcasts and listen to Medical Medium, Chemtrails, The Sky is Falling. And but yeah, so there's so much to talk about. I'm glad we're here. I'm excited that we're here. You loved it. Robin says loved it with 8 exclamation points. And Pressing says, we love you, Anthony. You and Spirit Compassion are amazing. Listened to your podcast last night here in Australia. What an eye-opener. Absolutely loved it. Thank you for all that you do and your amazing enthusiasm to help heal the world. I'm honored. Bless your heart, truly. And thank you for listening. Tell other people, share it. Tell them where to find it on Apple Podcast, and share that episode, Chemtrails, because Thursday I'm releasing another episode, okay? And I'm going to give you an idea of the episodes that are coming. There's going to be episodes on all the different conditions and symptoms, and it's going to even be more so than I ever did on the old radio show. And so with this podcast, the Medical Medium podcast, it's going to talk about, like, the eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, vitiligo, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, lupus, MS, diabetes, migraines, brain fog, anxiety, depression, all the different conditions and symptoms. But you guys, check this out. I'm also going to have episodes for spiritual, emotional growth, soul healing episodes, powerful soul healing episodes, really powerful, so that you can heal the soul, so you can heal any PTSD, so you can heal emotional wounds, like old wounds of betrayal and losses and things that you've gone through in your life, hardships. And so I'm going to have those powerful episodes coming up, and you don't want to miss those, because they're on a level all on their own too. So Medical Medium information has always been about advanced, unique, original information. It's not like other podcasts, okay? Other podcasts, they're regurgitating the same old stuff. They're regurgitating misinformation about health and just swimming it around. They have guests come on, and it's all the same stuff, unless they took pieces from Medical Medium information for the 35 years of putting out unique information, and then it gets taken, not cited back, and then it becomes out there like that. But this is different. Medical Medium information has always been about ahead of its time by decades and even more. And what you'll find in this podcast is that plus even more. It's going to be to a whole nother level. It's going to be unbelievable on that level. So this episode, Chemtrails, The Sky is Falling, really, really powerful. And it's the detailed truth and history about chemtrails, not speculation, not theories, the story, the legit, real, mind-blowing deal, okay? You're going to learn why flocks of birds are dying all over the planet, how they've been dying for decades, how no one's allowed to tell you guys this, but they won't tell you that we've lost half the bird population on the planet. It's gone. And they don't let anybody know. It's kind of like this thing where you live in it and you don't know that it's a fraction of what it was 50 years ago, a fraction of what it was 40 years ago. People have no idea and where that's heading, how we're going to lose all our birds eventually, why the bees are leaving, the whole bit. So it's so important. I talk about why there's really red tides. I talk about a lot of different powerful points. You really have to listen to that episode. But at the same time, a little disclaimer, meaning if it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for somebody who's gets spooked easy. don't listen to this podcast if that's the case, because it's that intense, it's that scary, but yet uplifting too, powerfully uplifting, and with a powerful message in it. So, and the episodes to follow are always going to have a powerful spiritual message in it, information, like basically, a puzzle of information to glean from and heal from. Please post your favorite parts. So that's the other thing. Post your favorite parts on this episode. Chemtrails, the sky is falling. And tag at medical medium. Tag at medical medium. Hashtag medical medium if you're on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, then just you know what I mean. Just if you're on YouTube, the same thing. Just do your thing. And it's important to spread the information out there and get that information out there so people can heal. Charlotte said, "Thank you for everything. Bless your heart." So the episode I'm launching Thursday is a surprise. That's another one. And when you hear about that episode, don't get fooled about the title so much, because when you get into the episode, it's shocking. It's unlike any level I took it to. Justina said, "My favorite part is truth." You love the entire podcast, Joanne? Your poem at the end was beautiful. So that's from Spirit of Compassion, Joanne. I'm always going to have powerful messages from Spirit of Compassion always in there to help people heal, and that's what's going to be. Subscribe to Medical Medium Podcast on Apple Podcasts. So that's what you do in order to hear the episodes. That's the platform. Definitely going to be on there. Catherine said, "God bless you in spirit. Bless your heart too. God bless you too." Jackie, you're drinking celery juice every single day. I'm proud of you. Incredible. So with this episode, I just want to kind of give you a little quick rundown on this episode too. Look, if there's something in this episode you really like, and information that you really love, or that's just really shocking and interesting in some way, and you want to share it, please share it out there. And if you can leave, I don't ask for it. I don't ask for anything. I always do free. You'll notice on YouTube, you won't see advertisements pop on YouTube. You won't see that happening. You won't see all those kinds of things. I'm not trying to sit there and infomercial you on YouTube and pump all these things at you guys, like a broken record and all that. I'm always about getting you information so you can heal. But if there's anything you can do for me, I'm not just saying, just leave a review on Apple Podcasts so that people can find it and then listen, so they can get healing information that can help their family and their friends, and share it. Share it. That's the bottom line. It's really important. And that would be really helpful. I'm not sponsored. I'm not sponsored by anybody, okay? So it's not that. The Medical Medium Podcast isn't sponsored. I've had people come to me saying, "Wait a minute, you're a 6-time New York Times #1 New York Times best-selling author, okay, with millions of books around the planet, in every country in the world, healing people worldwide. You got more people healed with your information than any other avenue that's ever happened in medicine, and all of it said and done, this podcast should be sponsored. This podcast should have big advertisers. This podcast should have all that." And no, I said no. Maybe someday. No, not now. I just don't want to do that. And I dumped my own money into it, okay? And worked hard on it. It's really high quality, and then the information is mind-blowing. I want you guys to have a resource that you can enjoy, but also get tremendous amounts of powerful information so you can heal. And Marcy says, "What's next?" Well, Thursday, you'll see. Thursday, you'll see. So make sure you subscribe to the Medical Medium Podcast on Apple Podcasts. Please share and cite back to this podcast. Cite it back to the chemtrail episode so people know where that information comes from. Because if you know something about chemtrails, you'll find out that you don't know about chemtrails. You'll know something about them from the misinformation and the theories out there, but when you actually hear the truth of what really happened, why these chemtrails are here, what's going on, and you learn that, it's a whole different ballpark. And that information will then get saturated out there. It won't get cited back to me probably eventually. And then it'll be like, that's where it comes from out there somewhere. No, it originates here, like 35 years of medical medium information that it has escaped through toxic heavy metals. Talk about that. Originates from medical medium information. Lemon water cleansing the body and the liver. Cleansing the liver. Lemon water, that's medical medium information. Started 35 years ago. And there's a celery juice. Same thing. But it's like what it is what you'll find in this podcast, along with other stuff, and you'll find information decades ahead of what's out there now. In the whole bit. So, Charlotte says, love the ending. You sounded like an Eminem badass. That's funny. And, it's like, the whole thing about this podcast is I wanted to this is an uncensored podcast. I told you it's not sponsored. It's uncensored. If you want to listen to it, go to Apple Podcasts, because that's a platform I can ensure that's where it's definitely going to be there, uploaded. It's there. And, the thing about this podcast, it's about empowerment, and I've always been about that. That's what my books are about. That's where all that incredible information in the book comes from. Spirit of compassion in the books, like Cleanse to Heal, that's saving lives right now by the millions around the world. And I just wanted to take it to the next level for you guys. I never launched my official podcast ever, and it was time. It was time. The radio shows were the old radio shows. This is the next level, and I will talk about mercury fillings on a podcast episode. I will. I just saw that just now. I will. So, for sure, because I think that's really important. Jennifer, be ready to sit on the edge of your seat. It's going to blow you away. Awesome. Thank you for telling people that. So, but also at the same time, thank you for warning them that they're going to be on the edge of their seat. So, I really appreciate that. In case someone doesn't, they're really sensitive, and I understand, and they might not want to listen to that because, so it could be really intense on all kinds of levels. So, but thank you for warning people with that one. I love you for that, and letting them know too. And you just download it and subscribed, Gene. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it, because then you'll learn about this. You'll be able to protect yourself, tell other people, and all of that. Vivian, why do we keep destroying ourselves, the human race? Because it's good versus evil. And I talk about that in this podcast, and I talk about that in the other episodes too, in some different ways. Because, darkness does want to destroy people. So it's a very horrible thing. It's evil tricking the good. And that's been around for centuries and centuries and centuries. It's been around since the beginning of the human race. But either way, it doesn't matter. You can protect yourself in the whole bit, and we can rise out of the ashes together, and we can heal together, and we can be stronger together. Valerie said, thank you so much, Anthony, and the whole bit. I'm really proud of all you guys. I know you're working really hard on everything. Lemon water for the win. Yeah, lemon water. Do you do a podcast about skin issues that are rare? Yes, I'm going to. I'm going to do podcasts on skin issues that are rare. A lot of times, a lot of skin issues, they're rare, but there is a cause, in a sense where there's a cause of why someone has a rare skin issue. They're just diagnosed with different names, and they don't know that it's a part of another skin condition. I'm going to talk about all of that, of course. Thank you, MM. Thank you for caring. The books are free at the library. Yeah, you can order one too on Amazon. Amazon in the U.S. at $16.99, 51% off the Cleanse to Heal book. But get them at the library. Michelle L. He has tons of solutions. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle's out there. I always see you out there. You're always fighting for medical medium information, trying to help people heal, and blown away, really. And just, I can't thank you enough for the fact that you have so much compassion, and you actually have patience to tell other people about medical medium information, what could heal them, Michelle, and how they can heal. And you're always spot on. I read your comments and stuff. It's just always spot on. It's just like, my God, like, the books, the whole bit. And Alexandra says, it's so sad, Anthony. I worry for my children and grandchildren. So sad what's going to happen in the future. Just don't worry about that. What it is we can adapt. And I talk about that in the episode. We can adapt. I want you to know that. And we can adapt as humans, and we can use foods as our medicine. We can use foods as tools. And I talk about medical medium information was never fruits and vegetables. Medical medium information was fruits, leafy greens, herbs, wild foods, and vegetables. And we can use those to actually adapt. And we can look up at the sky and be like, it's all right if that stuff's falling down on us. We can still adapt and heal and cleanse it out of our bodies. So we have tools. So that's the good news. That's the good news. Jacqueline says, love the books. Yay, incredible. Have you listened to the first episode, you guys, on Apple Podcasts? Have you listened to it? Chemtrails, the sky is falling. You don't want to miss that episode. Or if you're sensitive and kind of a little bit of faint of heart, you might want to miss it. It's a little scary and really intense. More than a little scary. But either way, you can listen to it, okay? And you can share it with others and the whole bit. If you don't have an Apple device or something like that, and you have a Android or something like that, you can just upload the app. Go to the App Store and just Apple Podcast app, and there you go. Boom, free. You got it. You can make sure and then you can subscribe so you're the first to get notified, so you don't miss an episode, because the episodes are going to come flying out. They are. I got one coming out Thursday. You don't want to miss it. If you like this chemtrail episode, you're going to like the next one. And just so you know, it's going to be a sprinkle of all kinds of powerful, powerful episodes. It's going to be about symptoms and conditions. It's going to be about spiritual and soul rebuilding, okay? To heal our soul and to heal our anxiety and depression. And it's going to be about healing from, wounds and emotional wounds, from betrayal and losses and hardships, and powerful episodes to help people through that. That's going to be a really big deal, you guys. There's going to be that there. And then there's going to be episodes sprinkled about, such as like chemtrails and other things like that. It's going to be controversial. Medical medium information has always been controversial. Powerful information that's coming out. So I'm glad you guys, growing inside. Exactly, grow inside. And but I'm glad you guys are you're in it to, help others too, because you want other people to heal. You want yourself to heal. I know so many of you guys have so much compassion for others out there. So share the episode to other people that you think would like to hear it and everything. And leave a review on Apple Podcasts, and if you can, leave a review there, because it is helpful, because what it does is it helps people know that this is good stuff. Rhonda says, thank you for the podcast. I listened. That's incredible. So if there's, look, if you listened already to the podcast, you want to ask a question, please ask some questions. I can answer some questions about if you listen to the Chemtrail podcast. And what I talk about in that podcast is pretty eye-opening. It's a shocker. If you just got on here, just know it's original, unique. It's not been out there before, so it's a historic moment right now. So when you listen to that Chemtrail the Sky is Falling episode on Apple Podcast, what you'll notice is that's historic. It's a historic moment that information was just released now. So that's really, a really exciting moment. And you'll connect the dots once you're listening to that episode. You'll connect the dots and you'll be like, oh my God. And it's a whole nother level. It's a whole nother level. And I talk about like the polar caps, what's happening with the polar caps, how chemtrails are involved. I talk about that, the red tides, how chemtrails are involved. And I talk about what are these chemtrails? Where is it coming from? How is it coming? Why is it coming? So I talk about all that too, okay? So Kathy said, sad we are going to lose the butterflies. It's really a sad situation, but you got to hear what's happening in that episode. And the bottom line is it's about empowerment. It's about adapting. It's about healing. I just know that a lot of you guys want to know what's happening. You want to know what's going on. You want to know what is happening around you, especially if you're sick and you're dealing with chronic illness, you're dealing with symptoms and conditions, if you're dealing with some kind of issue or some kind of problem or something that's impeding your life in some way. And if you are, then this is important because you can protect yourself, you can protect yourself. And I talk about how somebody keeps us busy down here where we're recycling things, and we should. We're recycling our plastic. We're worried about plastic straws. We're worried about all this stuff, plastic bags and all these things. But at the same time, we're looking at the sky and you see all this crap being dumped on us, and I talk all about that. Ichoda says, hey, Ichoda. Ichoda's always doing incredible stuff. She's compassionate. She's got patience for people out there because I see her commenting. It's such an incredible podcast. I thought I knew about chemtrails, but this filled in the gaps and all of the details made it to the next level. Ichoda, it's exactly because there just isn't really enough information or barely any information at any level out there in chemtrails. And this is the eye opener. This is the package of information that really is going to set the stage to so people can, go. Because I think people that are concerned about chemtrails out there, they want to know more. They wish they knew more. Well, here's the chance now. The details, it's in the details. It's unlike anything else. So it's in the details. So Marcy said, yes, I want to know always. Exactly. You want to protect your family. You want to protect your friends. You want to protect your kids. You want to protect everybody. Absolutely. It's always good to know. It's not something that, you don't want to be in denial about or not know. So, the link is pinned up on Facebook, so you can see the link to go and hear the podcast, just so you know. It's in the description, so the link is in the description. Just want you to know that. And it's in the description of YouTube. So at YouTube, it's in the description of YouTube, so I want you to know that too. Kelly says we have to pray to all the essential angels. So you're reading Medical Medium Book 1, and that's incredible. The angels are really important. They are important. We want to acknowledge that they're here. I'm glad you believe in angels. Some people don't believe in angels. And I'm always saying, no, angels are there and they're doing things. And I've told a lot of stories that I've heard from people, from stories they've had encountered and experienced with angels. I had one myself, a story in my when I was younger. God bless you too. Anyway, if you just got on here, I'm talking about the official launch of the Medical Medium podcast. It's not the radio show. It's entirely different than the radio show, and it's uncensored. It's not sponsored. There's no advertisements. I'm not going to infomercial you guys to death. Nothing like that. So, and you'll notice Medical Medium doesn't do that. I don't do it on YouTube. You don't have to go through all these ads on YouTube. I don't sit there trying to do this and have 20,000 links of all these things. I just make sure that you guys have options, information that's free. You can get my books at the library, all that. So, but the bottom line is this is another free resource. I dumped money into it. I worked hard on this to make sure you guys have this incredible resource so you can move your life forward. There's going to be spiritual, emotional, soul episodes to help you heal your soul from emotional wounds. There's going to be symptoms and conditions episodes on anything from lupus and ALS and MS and just symptoms and tingles and numbness, ringing in the ears, floaters in the eyes, alopecia, skin conditions, POTS, dysautonomia, all of them. So what I liked about the podcast is getting on your body's team and validating all the hard work it's doing to try to keep us healthy. Incredible. And you know what? That's exactly what it is. It's a beautiful thing. And it's about you want to be in the game with your body. You want to be in the game with your body. Your body wants to know you're in the game. Your body wants to know you're in the game with it. That it's working hard, that it's fighting for you. Your body wants to know you're in the fight with your body. It's so important, and I talk about that in that episode. It's incredible. It's incredible that you actually, pick that off, because there's a lot of information in there, and you have to listen to that episode a couple of times, that Chemtrails episode, Sky is Falling episode, a couple of times, because it's packed. It's jam-packed. So glad you caught that one. So anyway, the bottom line is that this is a free resource to empower you guys, give you more tools to protect yourself and heal. It's highly controversial stuff, and a lot of it's highly controversial. It's really intense, and if you're concerned about someone being in too much shock listening to this episode, you might want to sit them out. But if you feel like you can share this episode with somebody who's got the skin, because it's a scary one and it's really intense. So, but you can listen to the episode at Apple Podcasts, and it's packed with information, just packed about chemtrails, information no one's ever heard. So anyway, I love you guys. I stand with you. May the angels be by your side when you're sleeping tonight, helping your body heal. And that's what you do. You know, when you're right before you go to bed, tell the angels to be there. They'll sit by your bedside. They'll look out for you. And I stand with you guys, and I believe in you guys. You know that. And take one day at a time. Have compassion for yourself. Know that I care. I got your back. And take one day at a time. We can all rise out of the ashes together and heal. And I love you. I'll see you next time. Bye.